After 2 years together, she said, let's just be friends. I said, sure. Then she found out what that actually meant. When I started dating her best friend, she said, let's just be friends. After 2 years together, I told her, okay. Then I treated her exactly the way I treat every other friend in my life, with actual boundaries. She didn't really understand what just friends meant until I stopped acting like her boyfriend, and she had to live with it. I'm 27M. 3 weeks ago, my girlfriend, Madison, 26, gave me the let's just be friends speech. We'd been together for 2 years and living together for one. I thought we were solid. We'd been talking about future plans, her cousin's wedding next summer in Savannah, where I was supposed to be her date, all of that. Then, on a random Wednesday night, she sat me down and said, we need to talk. The second she said it, I already knew. She looked nervous but not confused, more like someone who had rehearsed this. I care about you, but I'm not in love anymore, she said. I think we'd be better as friends. We get along so well. We share the same friend group. We like all the same things. We'd be amazing friends, just not good partners. I just stared at her for a second. So you're breaking up with me, but you still want me in your life? She made a face. When you say it like that, it sounds terrible. Because it was terrible, she kept going anyway. It's not like that. I just need time to figure out who I am outside of this relationship. I don't want to lose you. We can still hang out, still be close, still be part of each other's lives. What made it worse was that she already had a bag packed. Her friend Paige was picking her up in an hour. She hadn't just decided to end things. She had already planned the whole exit. I looked at the bag, then back at her. So you already had a place to go? I knew you'd be upset, she said. Paige said I could stay with her while we figure out the apartment situation. The apartment situation? Yeah, she said, like this was all reasonable. We'll work out the living arrangement. There's no need to rush. We're adults. We can handle this. We're friends. I sat there trying to process how 2 years, a shared apartment, shared routines, future plans, even talking about a family someday, had suddenly been reduced to her wanting to keep me around under a different title. Then I said, all right. She blinked. All right? Yeah, let's be friends. She actually looked relieved. Not sad. Relieved. Like I had just agreed to the perfect setup for her. She gets to end the relationship, keep me around, and avoid any fallout. Thank God, she said. I was so scared you'd hate me or make this messy. This is why we'll be such good friends. She left that night. Paige picked her up and gave me this sympathetic look on the way out, like I was something fragile sitting there in my own apartment. I just nodded and shut the door. The next morning, I did exactly what Madison asked. I treated her like a friend. That was when I realized her version of friendship and mine were not even close. Her first text came at 6:45 a.m. Hey, hope you're okay. Can you bring me my work tablet? I forgot it when I left. I replied, sure, I'll leave it at reception at your office Monday. A minute later, she texted back, can't you bring it to Paige's? I need it this weekend. I wrote, I've got plans. Monday works better. She answered almost immediately. What plans? I looked at the message for a second, then sent back. Friend plans. She didn't like that. I could tell. But what exactly was she supposed to say? We were just friends now. Friends don't automatically drop everything for each other. Saturday, she texted again. Paige and I are trying that new cafe in Midtown. Want to come? I said, thanks, but I'm good. Have fun. Then she sent, come on, we always do Saturday coffee. I replied, that was when we were dating. Hope you have a good time. 2 hours later, another text. This is weird. Why are you acting so distant? Distant. I wasn't being rude. I wasn't being cold. I was being friendly, polite, normal. Exactly the way I am with every other friend. By week 2, she was clearly starting to come apart over it. Because when Madison said, let's be friends, what she really meant was, keep everything exactly the same except the part where she has obligations to me. What I heard was, new boundaries, same as any other friendship. On Tuesday, she let herself into the apartment while I was at work. She still had her key. She helped herself to snacks, used the washer, took a shower, grabbed some more stuff, and left a note on the counter saying, "Grabbed a few things. Hope that's okay." I texted her as soon as I got home. "Hey, saw you stop by. I need the key back." She replied, "What? Why?" I answered, "Because my friends don't have keys to my place." She sent back, "But I still have stuff there." I wrote, "Then we can schedule times for pickup, like friends do." That set her off. She came over that same evening furious. "You changed the locks?" "Didn't change them," I said. "Rekeyed them. You don't live here anymore." I handed her a box with some of her essentials in it. She looked at me like I'd insulted her. "You're being so petty." "Petty?" I said. "No, I'm treating you exactly the way I treat my friends. None of them have keys to my apartment." Her jaw tightened. "I'm not just any friend." That one almost made me laugh. "You said that's what you wanted," I told her. That was when the entitlement really started showing. She still expected to stay listed as my emergency contact. She thought she'd keep using my streaming accounts. She wanted access to my shopping memberships because, according to her, it's not a big deal. The real moment everything shifted came that weekend at our friend group's board game night. I showed up alone. She walked in later with some guy named Tyler from her gym and introduced him loud enough for everybody to hear. "This is Tyler. We met at spin class." Tyler seemed perfectly decent, friendly enough, but it was obvious why he was there. I shook his hand, welcomed him, sat down, and spent the rest of the night playing Catan like nothing about the situation required a reaction from me. That bothered her more than if I had made a scene. Halfway through the night, she cornered me in the kitchen. "You seriously don't care that I brought someone?" I looked at her. "Why would I?" Her expression changed. "You're not even a little jealous?" "We're friends," I said. "Friends date people." "That's different." "How?" She just stood there. Because she didn't have an answer. She couldn't say the real part out loud. She wanted to be the one who walked away but still keep all the emotional access. She wanted distance, but only on her terms. She wanted me available, hurt, waiting while she figured herself out. What she didn't expect was that I would actually listen when she said, "Let's just be friends." This should have been the moment things settled. Instead, it tilted harder, quieter, more deliberate. And she didn't even realize she was losing control yet. The best part? Her best friend Chloe didn't ignore me that night. She was everywhere without making it obvious. Laughing a little longer at my jokes. Finding small reasons to stand closer. Brushing my shoulder like it wasn't intentional, but it was. I didn't chase it, didn't push anything. I was just lighter, no pressure, no walking on eggshells. Just myself, without Madison's expectations hanging over every interaction. The next morning, Madison texted, "What was that with you and Chloe?" I read it twice before answering. "What?" "You know exactly what. The flirting. We were talking. That's not all it was." "Friends talk," I wrote. "She's your best friend, and you said I'm your friend now." "Friends can talk to friends." Nothing after that. 3 days of silence. Then Thursday, a shift. "I think I made a mistake about us. Can we talk?" There it was. Not an apology. Not accountability, just recalibration. "Sure," I replied. "What's up? Can we meet in person? Dinner at our spot?" "Our spot? You mean the bistro on 8th? I've got plans, but I can do coffee Saturday if you want to catch up." "Plans with who? Does it matter?" That pause again. "Friends don't track each other's schedules," I added. "Is it Chloe? Coffee Saturday or no?" "This isn't how friends act," she sent. I stared at that one. This is exactly how friends act. You're thinking of boyfriends. Easy mistake. Update 3 weeks in. Her whole finding herself phase? Already cracking. The guy from her spin class, Derek, ghosted after 2 hangouts. Turns out he wasn't interested in being someone's rebound experiment. Meanwhile, I was fine. Better than fine. Clear head, no confusion, just normal. Then Chloe made her move. Thursday night, a text. Hey, random, but I've got an extra ticket to a stand-up show Saturday. You want it? To be clear, I hadn't been pursuing her. Not even close. She'd always just been Madison's friend. Background presence. But now, without that context, she was different. Confident, direct. No games. Sure, I wrote. Sounds good. Cool. Just so you know, Madison's acting weird about us hanging out. Noted. Still good if you are. I am. I'll pick you up at 6:30. Saturday came. I got ready slower than usual. Not nervous, just aware. First real date in 2 years. As I grabbed my keys, my phone lit up. Madison, are you serious right now? What? Chloe told me you're taking her out. She invited me to a show? You can't date my best friend. I paused at that. Why not? Because it's girl code. She doesn't date my ex. I thought I was your friend, I typed. Not your ex. You know what I mean. I didn't. Friends don't control who their friends date. That was the last message I sent before my phone started ringing. Once. Twice. Again. 15 calls. I silenced it. The date with Chloe was easy, effortless. She was actually funny, something I'd never noticed when she was just in Madison's orbit. We talked about everything except Madison. Work, travel, stupid stories. It felt clean. At the end, though, she shifted slightly. I should probably tell you something, she said. I waited. Madison's losing it, Chloe added. She called me crying, said I betrayed her. I leaned back in my seat. And? Chloe shrugged. Honestly, she's been a terrible friend lately. Everything's about her journey. Last week she literally said keeping you as a friend was her safety net in case she didn't find someone better. That landed heavier than I expected. She said that word for word, Chloe added. I didn't respond right away. That's when I realized you deserved better, she said. And maybe I wanted to see what would happen if I gave this a shot. We kept it simple after that. One goodnight kiss. Nothing dramatic, no performance. I didn't post anything, didn't tell anyone, didn't matter. She found out. Sunday, 5:30 a.m. Banging on my door. Open up, I know you're in there. I opened it halfway. It's 5:30, Madison. I don't care, she snapped. We need to talk. Her hair was a mess, eyes swollen. Same clothes from the night before. You kissed her, she said. My best friend. I leaned against the doorframe. And? You're doing this to hurt me. I shook my head. I'm living my life. You ended ours. I said we could be friends, not that you could date my friends. You said you needed space to figure yourself out, I replied. I'm giving you that, while I move on. She tried to step inside. I blocked her. You don't live here anymore. I still have stuff here. Then schedule a time, like we agreed. Her voice cracked. You're being heartless. No, I said quietly. I'm setting boundaries. That was when it flipped. She started calling people, mutual friends. Twisting it into something cleaner for her, how I was revenge dating Chloe to get back at her. Some bought it, most didn't. Evan called me later. She says you're only with Chloe to spite her. Did she mention she dumped me to find herself but wanted me to stay as backup? I asked. Silence. Yeah, he said. Didn't think so. But she didn't stop there. She called my job, used the fact she was still listed as my emergency contact, told them I was having a breakdown, that I needed time off. My manager pulled me aside that afternoon. Your girlfriend called, said you're not doing well. Ex-girlfriend, I corrected. I'm fine, she's not handling the breakup. He studied me for a second. She sounded convinced. I'll take care of it. I went straight to HR, documented everything, started a record, because at that point it wasn't messy anymore. It was intentional. A month after the Let's Be Friends talk, her perfect plan had collapsed. Chloe and I were actually dating. Nothing serious. No pressure. Just good. Madison, on the other hand, was spiraling. She tried everything. And then she crossed a line she couldn't walk back. She sent Chloe screenshots, old messages, love notes, photos. Carefully chosen. Personal enough to sting. It should have ended there. It didn't. She pushed harder, louder, messier. Like if she escalated enough, reality might bend back in her favor. It didn't bend. Chloe showed me the screenshots the next day. "She's trying to make me jealous of your past," she said, holding her phone out. Old texts, pictures, messages I barely remembered writing. I looked at them for a second, then handed the phone back. "Is it working?" Chloe shook her head. "No, if anything, it just shows how much you put up with." That should have been the end of it. Instead, Madison went nuclear. 1:03 a.m. My phone lit up. "We need to talk. I'm late." I stared at that message, then typed back, "Late for what?" "You know, I'm pregnant." I sat there for a second, letting that land. "Congrats," I wrote. "Who's the father?" Her response came fast. "Seriously?" "You." I leaned back in my chair. "Interesting," I typed, "considering we haven't slept together in 2 months." "It can take time to show," she shot back. "And you've been with how many guys since?" I wrote. "Derek from spin class, the guy from that bar Chloe mentioned." "You're calling me a liar. I'm doing math." A long pause. Then I added, "If you're pregnant and think it's mine, we'll handle it properly. Doctor visit, paternity test when possible." Silence. The next day, false alarm, got my period. Convenient. That was when the cracks turned into something else. Because she started realizing I wasn't playing along anymore. I wasn't hovering. I wasn't waiting. I wasn't paying. She thought I'd keep covering things, utilities, subscriptions, our shared phone plan, while she figured herself out. Then her dad called me. "Why did you cancel Madison's phone line?" "I removed her from my plan," I said. "She needs her own. She can't afford that right now. She should have thought about that before ending things." There was a pause on the other end. "That's cold after 2 years," he said. "I'm being practical," I replied. "Friends don't pay each other's bills." "She made a mistake," he said. "She sees that now." Maybe. But that wasn't my problem anymore. The peak came when she found out Chloe and I were planning a weekend trip. Same lake town we'd gone to for our anniversary. She sent a message that looked like she'd been writing it for hours. "You're erasing everything we had, taking her to our place like it meant nothing. That's disrespectful. That's cruel." I read it once. "It's a public lake," I replied. "You don't own it. You know exactly what you're doing." "Yeah," I wrote. "Taking my girlfriend on a trip." "She's not your girlfriend." "She's my friend." "Was she?" I typed back. "Before or after you tried to guilt her for being happy?" That was the last normal exchange. Because then she crossed a line she couldn't come back from. She showed up at Chloe's workplace. Created a scene. Raised her voice, accused her, made it public enough that security had to step in and escort her out. Chloe's boss wasn't exactly understanding about it either. Chloe called me after, voice tight. "She's lost it," she said. "Screaming that you stole her life." I leaned against the wall listening. "You want to file a restraining order?" I asked. A pause. "I think I might have to," she said. And she did. That was the reality check Madison couldn't dodge. That, and losing her job after missing too many shifts during everything she'd stirred up. Last I heard from mutual friends, she'd moved back in with her parents out in Plano. Court-ordered therapy after the workplace incident, trying to piece things together while everything she'd tried to control slipped out of her hands. Chloe and I blocked her everywhere. Derek, already posting with someone new. Madison picked up part-time shifts at a coffee shop, Still, the entitlement didn't fully disappear. She sent one last email before I blocked that too. Hope you're happy. You got everything. Turned my best friend against me, made me look insane, ruined my life. All because you couldn't handle being friends. I tried to let you down easy. I kept you in my life because I cared. But you had to be cruel, had to win. Congrats. You and Chloe deserve each other. I read it once, didn't respond. What was the point? In her version of the story, she was the victim. Not someone dealing with the consequences of her own decisions, but someone caught in some elaborate scheme I'd supposedly built against her. But there was no scheme, no plan. When she said, "Let's just be friends," I took her seriously. I treated her like I treat every other friend, respectful but with distance. Clear boundaries. No access she didn't earn. She just couldn't handle what that actually looked like. Because what she really wanted wasn't friendship. She wanted me waiting, available, quietly hurting while she explored other options. She wanted the safety net without the commitment. When that didn't happen, when I moved on, when I stopped orbiting her, when I treated her like exactly what she asked to be, everything she built collapsed. Chloe and I are still together. No drama, no games, just easy, honest, consistent. Sometimes we joke about how all of this started. Most of the time, we don't even think about it. And if there's anything I took from it, it's this. When someone says they just want to be friends after a serious relationship, believe them. Take it literally. Treat them like a friend. Nothing more, nothing less. Set boundaries. Move forward. Because real friends want you to be okay. They don't expect you to stay stuck while they figure themselves out. They don't ask for relationship-level access under a different label. Madison wanted all the benefits without the responsibility. A backup plan. An emotional safety net. When I refused that role, when I did exactly what she asked and nothing more, it felt like punishment to her. But it wasn't. It was just friendship. Exactly what she said she wanted. Funny how that works.